Welcome to Research and Writing in the Digital Age for grades K through 2 with Katie Eklund. My name's Katie and I will be your facilitator through the 3 parts of this course. We're going to be learning together and then you're going to be applying that work anytime you see your turn. So let's dive in. Welcome to Research and Writing in the Digital Age for grades K through 2 with Katie Eklund. This is part 1. And in part 1, we will be talking about the 4 best practices for teaching research and writing. In this section, we will be focusing on not only these 4 best practices, but also some digital practices that you can do to meet these different areas along the way. Step number 1, set aside daily research and writing time. Recommended to set aside a minimum of 15 minutes every single day, if not more. Make it a part of your daily routine and bring it in different ways on different days. Always make sure you're modeling and setting expectations for your students and mix it up with some digital, some non-digital when you're building it into your daily routine with your students. Some examples of this would be daily writing prompts using tools like Google Docs or Google Slides. Let's go check out this Google Doc. An example inside of here I've already built. I've written out a prompt right here for students, and then I gave them a 1-by-1 table where I gave them a sentence frame where they could simply fill in their content right there. Things like that, teaching them how to, if they do this space and what happens, how to undo that, or if they're ready to create or write on their own, I could simply click below my box or click in an empty area and I could insert a simple 1-by-1 and it drops in a brand new blank area for them. So this would be one really great way to do that as well. You can also do the same thing inside of a Google Slide. Another great digital example would be to give them some time for reflection or just asking questions and having them write. Okay, you could do this in Google Classroom and Google Forms. Right here inside of my Google Classroom, I just have a kind of a quick question that I want them to reflect on and then answer. So we have our question right here, and then the students could simply click on it and answer that very quickly and very easily. Another one would be having students record, because maybe there are younger students who are not actually writing in sentences yet, but they're ready to start sharing and building that time. So you could absolutely use tools like Seesaw or Flip. So let's go take a look. This is my Flip group that I've made right here. And all I did is click this plus button and I made this brand new group. And then inside of my group, I clicked my other plus button right here to add a new topic. And all you simply do is type in your question and create, and then it will create that for you. You can see right here, I created one that says, if your toys could talk, what would they say? And then I could absolutely open this up and demo to my students. I would click add topic, I would record my answer, show them all the steps, and then I would have them go and build that in. And yes, they're not actually writing, but this is part of the writing process, right? So this would be a really great way to reach those students who are maybe not actually ready to write full sentences. Another way to do this would have them go into Seesaw. They could come up to their plus button and click post to student work or their student journal right there, and they could choose whichever one works best. Maybe they're going to create a drawing and then you're going to have them explain or share a story. After they create their drawing right here, they can use this record button to verbally record an explanation all about what they are sharing with you. If they already had a drawing, instead of making one, they could take a photo of their drawing. Once you do that and you take a photo, then you can use that record button just like we saw over here in our drawing area, and we could absolutely have them record and explain their drawing. So these are just a few different ways to build in those times to kind of build in that research writing time on the daily. Number 2, teach how to research and the writing process to your students. You're going to want to make sure that you model and show your students how to do this, how to research using a variety of tools, and not just saying open up a tab and type something in, because we all know that our younger students need a lot of built-in support. You want to teach and model that process of writing by integrating brainstorming, drafting, revising, editing, and publishing into all of your subject areas anytime you have a project. You also want to teach your students how to find that information and how to add it in. So not only do they need to know how to research and the writing process, but they need to know how to put them together. And then introduce your students to the genres of writing. They may not know all of them exactly, but as they're writing, talk about, is this an opinion? Is this a narrative? And start to expose them to that vocabulary. Some great ways to help with that are listed right here. One of my favorite ones is listed right at the top, which is our hyperdocs. This is a really great place. If you go to this link right here, I'll give you a minute, or you can click pause to be able to see these links for longer. And hyperdocs are really great pre-made activities. And so I'm going to kind of show you where I go to find them, and a great example of conducting some research utilizing hyperdocs. So hyperdocs, that link will take you right to this page right here. And hyperdocs has this great place full of digital lesson plans that are already made. You can search for keywords, you can apply filters. And so what I did is I simply came in here and I wanted to prepare for some research on weather with my students. So I ended up searching for weather and I found this amazing pre-made hyperdoc right here. And it is all about the 4 seasons. It talks and gives them visuals. It gives them research to conduct in videos. So making sure that I'm talking to them about how they're conducting this research, right? And then bringing it back together for our face-to-face lesson, having another video, and bringing in different engagement activities by having them go to different tools. And this tool right here, Padlet, is just an example. You can adjust this and utilize any tool that works best for you. So there's lots of great ways to teach your students how to research without simply just telling them to go and do a search, right? You can give them a document like this that has research areas already in there that they can go to, click on, and showing them that research can be done just simply by watching a video, things like that. And again, inside of hyperdocs is where I found this. And when you find these in here, you open them up and you simply just go file, make a copy, and then you can absolutely utilize them. This is a free resource for you to access and utilize at any time. So that is this first link right here. These other links right down here are really great research tools that are built for younger students that you can go to. A lot of them have more images than words. And so if you've never checked these out, go and check them out. They're great resources. If you want to teach your students to go somewhere and like type in a keyword or two, definitely best practice for that is no more than 2 to 3 words typed in when they're searching for things. So try those out when you're working through teaching the research and writing process. Number 3, include foundational skills in your writing time. Students in K-2 learn these kinds of skills every day, so you want to make sure that you're integrating those concepts into your writing time and you're reinforcing them to help students apply them in their writing. So a great way to do this is utilizing tools like Google Slides or Jamboard for some extra practice as they're building their writing. Some resources that we have right here are listed and you can access them. And again, click pause if you want to see these links for a little bit longer. But this first link right here, I have open, and this is a really great resource for you. It is all pre-made Jamboards that you can open up. So I have one open up right here, and you can file and make your own copy to utilize these. And these are great resources to build in along with your writing time so that they're practicing these foundational skills and kind of supplement what they're learning during that foundational skill time. And I love activities like this because you can use them, they're pre-made. You can put them into Google Classroom where they all get their own copy. You can have them work together at a station rotation and practice this. So many great options when you're looking at that as well. Another great place to do that as well is to go ahead and go to hyperdocs, and there are many great options in there as well. I have this great one I found from hyperdocs on compound words, and this is a really great way to have them review what it is, and learn more about it. And then you can bring in other tools to have them help explain and apply that. So this is a really great way to build in more practice with those foundational skills, but also have them practice researching with videos, right? And then building in those other practices as you go through there. So lots of great options when you're talking about including your foundational skills during your writing time by building those together. And number 4 is creating a writing community. Taking the time to create a research and writing community in your classroom will help students understand the importance of writing. It will give them a regular time to apply this, and also make sure that you're allowing students a variety of ways to share. So not only are you giving them time to regularly research and write, but you need to allow them to share so that way they understand that there is a community that will be looking at their work and seeing their writing and how awesome they are and what they're creating. A great way to help provide multiple ways for students to share their research and writing are things like QR codes, utilizing Seesaw where they can share their work to the class. And if you have parents who have joined Seesaw, they can see their students' work as well. Google Docs or Google Slides, and or using Flip. So let's talk a little bit more about these. QR codes. QR codes, this is an example of one right here. This is a great tool that can be printed out, put up, or shared virtually that you scan and access something. And it can be a website, it can be a Google Doc, a Google slide deck, a picture. That's the great thing about QR codes is you can pretty much generate them from anywhere you go. For example, if I am on this document and I want to make it a QR code because I want to be able to share this, right? Instead of printing this page out, I can just print out the little QR code. There's a couple of ways to do this. One way is if you're using Chrome, the very top, there's a little box with an up arrow, and you can click create QR code, and you can create that, print it out. Or there are extensions out there like this one, the QR code generator from the Chrome Web Store that you could add to Chrome. So very quickly and easily, you just add it to Chrome. It's going to add that to your account. And now I can see that that has been added. And if I go in here and pin that to the top, I can now go back to my document and utilize my extension. And there's my QR code, right? And I could simply copy the image, save the image, print the image, whatever I need to do in order to create that. And it's a really great way to be able to create and share things. And I love QR codes because you can print a whole bunch on one page instead of having to print out 30 individual pages of student work. Depending on how big you make your QR codes, you could probably print close to 30 on one page. So it's a really great way to be able to share things. Seesaw is another great way to do that as well. As we saw, they can create and they can share. Google Docs or Slides are another great way, especially if you're utilizing a tool like Google Classroom, because then you can post things in there, they can share things, and it does that share back and forth with you. And then also Flip is another really great way, because when you go into Flip, you record yourself. So if they had a drawing or something physically like a piece of paper, they could hold that up and then they could explain it, share it, talk about it, all of those good ways. So those are really great ways to build in sharing for students of their writing as they do it inside of your class. Now it's your turn. Create a model, example, or plan to add all 4 best practices for teaching research and writing into your classroom. This can be done in a combination of any of the following ways. You can make some lesson plans. You can make great examples like what I showed up here by going to HyperDocs, going into Jamboard, and building these examples. You can make ready-to-use practice sets, because if you know you're going to be teaching something coming up, something maybe about weather, you can go ahead and build that whole process for your students and have it ready to go. Or you could simply calendar out your long-term plan of how you're going to build in these practices to have teaching, research, and writing part of your daily routine. So go try it out, and thanks for checking out part 1.